Track 1.
Now, Petros, let's talk about what you do. Do you work or are you a student?
I'm doing both things at the moment. I'm studying English, but I'm also working as a waiter in a Greek restaurant.
I see. Why are you studying English?
Well, I'm hoping to get into university here. I'm planning to study economics, and when I get my degree, I'm joining my father's business in Athens. He's living in America now, and he's taking his MBA examinations next month.
Okay. And are you enjoying your studies?
Yes, I am, but I'm having a problem paying my fees. That's why I'm working as a waiter.
Track 2.
Hi, I'm here to pick up the new timetable.
OK, which course are you on?
It's the foundation course in civil and structural engineering.
So, in Semester 1, you take mathematics, mechanics, physics and information and communications technology. Lectures are in the Chesham building and they start at 10 o'clock in the morning.
What time do the lectures end?
The lectures finish at 12. You have lab work in the afternoon every Wednesday and Thursday. Dr. Boot supervises these sessions and a lab technician attends the lab work sessions too. On Monday and Tuesday, you go to your tutor for a tutorial session.
So, what happens on Friday?
You don't have any classes on Fridays. That is for research time. Track 3.
Hi, Jules. I'm so nervous about the exam. Have you sent your application form yet? I've only just posted mine.
Yes, I have. I sent it last week. I've already received confirmation of the test date and time. It's Saturday the 18th of July at 9 in the morning.
Have you found your passport? Mine's still missing. I've looked everywhere, but I can't find it.
Yes, I found it. It was in the inside pocket of my backpack.
Oh, I haven't looked there yet. I'll check when I get home.
What about that video of the speaking test? Have you finished with it yet? I'd like to watch it.
Yes, I've seen it twice already. It's very helpful. You can have it tomorrow.
And have you done any practice tests?
I've done the one on the IELTS website, but they don't give you the answers.
Well, I've got a book of tests. I've done all of them, so you can have it.
Thanks. Oh, there's just one more thing I haven't done yet. I need a good alarm clock. Have you got one?
Yes, I have. But you can't have that. I'm going to need it myself.
Track 4.
Good morning and welcome to the Freshers Week programme at the University of Wickham. I'm here to talk about your timetable. First of all, the police lecture on campus safety has been cancelled, unfortunately, due to illness. All lectures this week are being held in the Sunley Lecture Theatre in the Arts Building. The register is taken every day, so make sure you attend. 30 more students have been enrolled today. They are being taken to their accommodation now, so you can meet them later on. Lunch is served in the canteen from 12:30 every day, and I expect you're all hungry, so that's all from me for now. Are there any questions?
Track 5.
I remember that day so clearly. I was skiing in Switzerland. I was living there at the time. It was a bright, clear day. It was about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. There was no warning. It was instant. Suddenly, I was curled up in a ball doing somersaults. Then it was over and I was buried in snow. It was totally dark. My mouth was packed with snow. The pressure was so intense that it was hard to breathe. I didn't know which direction was up. I believed I was going to die. Luckily, I was covering my face when it happened. I cleared the snow out of my mouth with my fingers. And then I panicked. I didn't think I was going to survive. I was screaming. I was crying. The tears were flowing. And then I noticed that all the tears were running across my face. I realised that I was lying in an upside-down and backwards position. That was a real moment of truth. I knew that I had to get out. I moved my hands around, which gave me a bit more room. Then I got my upper body loose and I started digging. I made a little game out of it. I counted to 4 and then reached out to grab a handful of snow. And then I pushed it all down to my feet and stamped on it. I was digging for 22 hours before I finally got out. It was another 14 hours before I heard the sound of the rescue team coming towards me.
Track 6.
The party I enjoyed most of all was my graduation party. I'll never forget the moment when the stretch limousine turned up at my door. My friend Anna had ordered it. I got dressed up very quickly and got in the car, but I really didn't know where I was going. Then we arrived at the Grand Hotel, and all my friends came out to meet me. What a surprise! Anna had invited all my friends from university. I had graduated with first-class honors, so she had decided to have a party for me, but she hadn't told me about it. She had booked a large room at the hotel where we laughed and danced all night long.
Track 7.
Hey, we did a really good experiment in chemistry class this morning.
What did you do?
We made glue from milk.
Wow! How did you do that?
Well, first we mixed some vinegar with a cupful of milk in a beaker. Not too much vinegar, just about 2 spoonfuls. Then we heated it and stirred it until it went lumpy. You know, the milk separated into solid bits and watery stuff. It's called curds and whey.
So which part was the glue?
It was the solid part, the curds. We filtered off the liquid into a flask through a funnel with special filter paper in it, like they use for making coffee. Then we dried the curds as much as we could with a paper towel to get rid of the vinegar and the whey. We added some water and stirred it again, and the teacher said, "Now it's glue."
How did you test it?
We used it to stick pictures in our notebooks. It really worked.
Track 8.
Question 1. Will you be using the projector this afternoon? Question 2. Will you be going to the post office when you go to town? Question 3. Will your party be going on much longer? Question 4. Will you be needing the car tonight? Question 5. When will you be finishing in the bathroom? Question 6. How will you be getting to the conference?
Track 9. OK, now, quite a few of you have asked me about what to do on the day of the test, what to take, what you can do, and what you mustn't do. So, I'll explain some of the rules and regulations you have been asking about. Now, I'm going to talk about just some of these. You must read all of them for yourself later, and you can find these on the official IELTS website. First of all, before the test, you are required to prove who you are, so take your passport or another form of identity. Remember, you have to leave your bags and coats outside the test room, so don't take anything valuable with you. A lot of people have asked me if they can use a dictionary in the test. I'm afraid not. Dictionaries are not allowed, and you must remember to switch off your mobile phone. In fact, it's better not to take it to the test at all, because you can't take it into the exam room. You must not talk to any other candidates once the test has started. What happens if you're late? You need to speak to the supervisor. He or she may not let you in. During the test, you may not ask about any of the questions. If you need to leave the room for any reason, you must ask the supervisor. Before the end of the test, remember you have to transfer your answers to the answer sheet. You are not to remove any part of the test from the room or copy any part of the test. After the test, you have to wait for around 2 weeks for the results, which you can get from the test centre. Now, are there any other questions? Track 10.
So, Ahmed, do you do any sports?
Yes, I'm good at swimming, and I've won a couple of tournaments. But I'm not so good at getting up in the morning to do 2 hours of training, though. That's the hardest part for me. I'm not at all bad at football either. I've got pretty good coordination. However, I injured my knee during a game last weekend, so won't be able to play for a few weeks. I like playing tennis, but I'm not very skilled. I can't run fast enough and have difficulty keeping my eye on the ball. It's the same with basketball. In fact, I think it would be true to say that I'm not very adept at all. I'm pretty bad at badminton too. I've never won a game yet.
Track 11.
Now you have reached the second year of your degree, it's time to stop relying on your tutor and start working independently. You shouldn't use a dictionary to look up all the words you don't know. This is time-consuming and unnecessary. Instead of reaching for the dictionary when you don't understand a word, you should use the context to guess the meaning. You do this in your own language, so why not in English? Students ought to practice recognizing the type of word it is. For example, is it a noun, verb, adjective, or adverb? You can recognize the word type from its position in the sentence. The other thing you should do is to improve your reading speed. I have some suggestions for you regarding this. First of all, what about working with a friend? If you work together, you can time each other. When you have finished reading, how about asking each other questions to test how well you have understood? But when you do this, you shouldn't look back at the text again. Instead, you should see how much you remember. It is no use reading fast if you don't understand.
Track 12. Today I'm going to look at overpopulation and its impact on the world's resources. Overpopulation is seen as one of the world's leading environmental problems. If we had fewer people, there would be more space and food for everyone. To add to the problem, the population of the Earth is not evenly distributed, and neither is the wealth. If everybody lived like the average North American, we would need 6 planets the size of Earth. However, population growth tends to be higher in developing countries, and some have taken action to control it. China, for example, has introduced a one-child policy. Statistics show that the average Chinese woman would have 6 children if there was no law against it. India, on the other hand, has a population growth of 1.8% per year. Currently, the population of India is 1 billion people. That's 1/6 of the total number of people in the world. Many of them are poor and live very simply. But if they all had the lifestyle of a citizen of the USA, how much would be left for the rest of us? Track 13.
OK, Nilgun, so you've brought your final draft of your group project for me to look at.
Yes, it's about new archaeological sites in Greece. I was hoping that you could give me some advice on it before I handed it in.
Of course I can. I read through it last week and made some notes on how you could improve it, if you have the time.
OK, I hope there's nothing too terrible in there.
No, not really. Just a few minor points. But first of all, let me ask you how you thought the project went.
I'm not sure what you mean.
Well, how did you approach the project? Did your group work well together? Was there anything you thought worked well and anything you would have changed if you had the opportunity to do the project again?
Our group worked very well as a team, but it took a little bit of time before we were able to work really well together. If we had the opportunity to do this again, we would have done some team-building activities first. Things like going for a meal together, going away for the weekend. But it was okay in the end.
That's good. And what did you find worked well?
We were good at sharing our responsibilities. We could divide the work equally, and everyone did their share of the project.
So all of the group contributed equally?
Well, we would have liked one member of the group to have worked harder if he could, but he explained that one of his brothers was ill and he had to spend a lot of time helping him.
And what did you do then?
We discussed his workload. what he could do and what he couldn't do, and divided it between the other group members.
Anything else?
Yes. If we had started everything earlier, it would have been better. If we'd been a bit more organised, we would have been able to make a better timetable, and we wouldn't have been in such a rush to finish.
Yes, it's always the way. But would you have worked so well as a team if there hadn't been a little bit of time pressure?
Actually, I hadn't thought about that. But if I had the choice, I still would have planned better and started sooner.
Track 14.
Were you ill today? You missed a good lecture today about accounting.
No, I'm not ill. I've been reading a lot about accounting lately and I'm not really interested in it. I'm not going to take the option in it.
Dr. K7 covered more than just accounting, though. He spoke about the marketing mix too. The 4 Ps: product, price, place and promotion.
Oh, really? I haven't read about that yet.
Well, it was only a short introduction. He'll talk about it in more detail next week, so you must make sure you're there.
Don't worry, I'll be there for sure.
Track 15.
Have you ever left anything important on a bus? Or have you handed in something strange to the Lost Property Office? It is thought that Transport for London deals with more than 130,000 items of lost property each year on its buses, trains and taxis. It is understood that last year alone, over 10,000 mobile phones were handed in to its Lost Property Office on Baker Street. 10,614 of them, to be exact. And that's not forgetting the 7,000 umbrellas and around 6,000 pairs of glasses that were left behind by passengers in a hurry. However, there is some good news. About 25% of these items find their way back to their true owners. When we inquired about what happened to the remaining unclaimed lost items, a spokesman for the office explained that after a period of 3 months, they are auctioned off and any money raised goes towards the cost of providing the lost property service. Some of the things that have been handed in to the Lost Property Office over the years are unusual, to say the least. It is believed that someone once handed in a briefcase containing over £10,000.
Track 16.
Our next contestant is Susan Shaw from Liverpool University. The subject she has chosen this afternoon is the IELTS test. Good afternoon, Susan.
Good afternoon.
Here's your first question. Do you know the name of one of the 3 organisations which administer the IELTS test?
Yes, I think I know all of them. There's the British Council, the University of Cambridge, and, the Australian one, IDP Australia.
That is the correct answer. My next question is, can you tell me the correct word for the examiner who asks the questions in the IELTS speaking test?
Yes, that would be the interlocutor.
Yes, that's the right word. Well done. Now, what do we call the place where the test is taken?
Oh, that's an easy one. It's just called a test centre.
Yes, that's correct. Can you answer this? What is the day of the week when the test is usually taken?
Well, I'm not sure if it's the same everywhere in the world, because Muslim countries have a different weekend, but here in Britain, it's normally on a Saturday.
That's the answer I have here, so it's another point for you, Susan. On to question number 5. What do you think is the reason why most people take the IELTS test?
I think around 80% of IELTS candidates take it because they want to get into university in an English-speaking country. Yes, university entrance is the answer.
That is the correct answer. Your next question is this. Can a doctor whose IELTS score is 6.5 work for the National Health Service in Great Britain?
Oh dear, I don't think I know this one. 6.5 is quite a high score. You can take a master's degree at most universities with that. I'll say yes.
I'm sorry, Susan. The correct answer is no. Doctors need a band 7.0 before they can practice medicine in the NHS. What a pity. Here's the next question. Can you name a type of question which might be in the reading test?
Multiple choice?
Yes. The others are labelling, short answer questions, and completing a chart, table, note or sentence. Next question. What is the word for a person who sits in the room while people are taking an examination?
No, I can't remember the word. Pass.
On to question 9 then. Can you name the part of the IELTS test that takes about 35 minutes?
Oh, yes. That's the listening test.
That is the correct answer. This is your final question. What is the maximum length of time that you should spend on writing task 1?
You should spend no more than 20 minutes on question 1.
Yes, that's the right answer. You have scored a total of 8 points. You passed on one question. A person who sits in the room while people are taking an examination is an invigilator. Well done, Susan.
Track 17.
Can you tell me where the self-study centre is, please?
Yes, it's in C101, just in this building here.
Where exactly is it?
Go into the Richmond building through the main entrance, just there, and in front of you, you'll see the main stairs into the main part of the building.
So I take the stairs to the main building.
Oh, no. When you go into the building, you'll see the main stairs in front of you and student services on your left.
Student services?
Yes, you have course inquiries, accommodation services, and international student services.
OK, that's on the left of the stairs.
And to the right is the main reception for the university. Go right and walk straight on into the atrium. It's a large open space. You'll see students at the computer cluster station on the left and then a seating area. In front of the seating area, there's a cafe selling sandwiches, tea, coffee and things.
That's good to know. Maybe I'll go there first before I go to the self-study centre.
Well, you need to go past the cafe to get to the self-study centre. Just a little bit further and you'll see the exit to Great Horton Road in front of you, with the ladies' and gents' toilets on the right.
OK.
Turn left there, and with the cafe behind you, you'll see a door with steps leading down. Go down there, and the self-study centre is in there.
And hard-working teacher, and nothing was too much trouble for her. If a student needed help, she was very generous with her time. To sum up, I can say she was a gifted and talented teacher, and I learned a lot from her. Not just English.
Go straight on past the college oak, the oak tree on your left, and the bull paddock. That's the grassy area on your right.
So the college oak is on the left?
That's right. And go towards Bishop's, the building with the tower.
I see. So is the main reception in there?
No, but it's not too far away. Next to Bishop's is the senior common room, and you need to go in there and out again the other side. Go right along the path, past the senior common room, on your left, and you'll see a door. This is the entrance to the senior common room. Go up the stairs, into the senior common room building and straight through the other side.
OK, into the senior common room building and out again.
Yes, and you'll see another path. The dining room is on your right, and the kitchens are a bit further on the right too, alongside Sharwood Court.
I see.
Go across Sharwood Court and turn right at the building in front of you. This is the Sharwood Room. Just opposite the Sharwood Room, across the lawn from it, is the Foundation Studies office.
Is it far? It sounds like a long way.
It's not too far. You'll find it quite easily once you go out of the senior common room building.
Thanks very much.
But I have lost things that were valuable to me, but only to me. 2 years ago, I lost a great jacket. It was a used, stripy, yellow and white polyfibre skiing jacket. It was quite soft and smooth, but a bit bulky to keep out the cold.
What's the most important thing you own, and why is it important to you?
One of my most important possessions is my bag. Because I keep all my other important things in it. It's a large, square, flowery Italian shopping bag. Quite old and battered now, but I still use it because I can get all my stuff inside it.
Tell me, what's the most embarrassing thing that's happened to you? Oh, that was when my husband's colleague invited us round for dinner. I had a bit of wine, and we were having a good chat about valuable old objects when Roberto brought out this big, antique, blue-coloured Chinese ceramic flower vase and asked me to hold it. Well, you can guess what happened. It slipped crash into a million pieces all over the floor.
Saudi Arabia. What is the aim of the society? Well, the Saudi society meets so as to promote understanding of Arab life and culture through organising events in order to introduce people to the country. And on to our last society, the Drama Society. This society is for people who are interested in the theatre and who would like to do acting too. In order for that to happen, the Drama Society produces one play every semester and need people not only for acting, but also backstage to do lighting, costume and makeup. Those are just 3 examples, and there are many more of these societies. So, how can you join one of these societies?
Art gallery, theatre, exhibition hall, opera house. Art, sculpture, sketch, self-portrait, portrait, ceramic. Describing art, abstract, still life, contemporary, surreal.
That doesn't mean that people are too materialistic, interested in consumer products.
Can you expand on that a little?
Not everyone likes the latest fashions or technology. Apparently, one of my classmates even prefers dictionaries to translating machines. Imagine that. Seriously, though, while it is true that many people are very consumerist, it seems many more are actually turning against this. In fact, some people are choosing not to fly to save the environment, to recycle and repair old things, rather than buy new products and things like that.
And what about you?
Me? Frankly, I never repair anything if I can buy a new one.
Young people in the West today are animal lovers and do not think it is right to eat animals. Others choose not to eat meat for religious reasons, for instance, Hindus and Buddhists. Others feel that it is better for their health not to eat meat, as it is difficult to digest and takes a long time to pass through the body. A case in point is beef, which takes at least 3 hours to leave the stomach. There are 3 types of vegetarians, namely vegans, lacto-vegetarians, and those who eat no red meat, but will eat fish and eggs, for example. Vegans eat no animal products at all, and will not use any animal byproducts, such as leather shoes or handbags. Lacto-vegetarians eat dairy products like cheese and butter. A vegan diet may lack protein, which is essential for healthy growth. Some vegetables, such as beans and nuts, contain protein, so vegans must make sure that they eat plenty of these types of food. To sum up, there are many reasons why people choose vegetarianism, and many different types of vegetarian. In conclusion, it is everybody's right to choose their own diet, but care must be taken, and for children in particular, that the body has all the protein it needs to grow.
Industrial. Climate. Temperate. Humid. Changeable. Tropical. School age. School-aged. Teen. Teenager. Middle age. Middle-aged. Adult. Pensioner. old age, old-aged. Body shape, figure, shape. Pear-shaped, hourglass figure. Slim, overweight, skinny, curvy. Face, round, oval, heart-shaped, square. Hair, straight, curly, wavy, blonde, brunette, bald. Character, amusing, arrogant, brainy, creepy, easygoing, enthusiastic, funny, fussy, generous, gifted, grumpy, hard-working, idle, mean, nervous, punctual, self-confident, strange, strict, sulky, thoughtful, unenthusiastic, longitude, north-south pole, equator. Sea, ocean, gulf, maritime, current, flow, salinity. Land, continent, coast, landmass, mountain range. Climate, atmosphere, high-low pressure, humid, mild, subtropical, monsoon, trade winds, moisture, precipitation, flood, drought.
A young and vibrant city. It's exciting with lots to do. With lots of commerce and industry, it's Pakistan's largest metropolitan city.
Extract 3.
Yokohama is a coastal city on Honshu Island, on the Bay of Tokyo. It's a major port and also a regional capital. I have lived there all my life, and I like it very much. It's very crowded, the second most populous city in Japan, but it has a cosmopolitan feel to the city because of the Western-style buildings, Chinese temples, and international restaurants, especially in the suburb of Yamate, just outside the city centre, with its churches and tea shops, a bit like England, really.
Sinks to the bottom of the ocean when it gets there. The Gulf Stream is one of the strongest currents known anywhere in the world. Without its influence, the UK and other places in Europe would be as cold as Canada at the same latitude.
Performance. To make a good impression. To be doomed to failure. To go badly wrong. To be a total flop. To be a recipe for disaster. To be an outstanding success. Collocations connected with change. To make things easier for yourself. To make a real difference. To increase your chances. To make a slight adjustment. Collocations connected with remembering. To keep something in mind. To make a point of doing something. To make sure. To make a note of something. Collocations with make. To make a list. To make an effort. To make a mistake. To make notes. calorie, carbohydrate, fat, protein, vitamin, mineral, fibre. Taste and texture, raw, fresh, oily, tough, sour, sweet, savoury, bitter, spicy, tender, sugary. Adjectives: delicious, gorgeous, heavenly, Moorish, light, heavy, bland, unhealthy.
State at the beginning what you are going to talk about and make a list of the main points. Make an effort to ensure that your presentation has a logical order, emphasizing your key points by using visual aids or by alerting your audience to key points coming up can make a real difference. Make eye contact with your audience, but don't just focus on one person. Look around at different people. Don't make the mistake of simply reading from a script. It will be a recipe for disaster, and you will be doomed to failure. Not only will it affect the flow of your delivery, you will bore your audience too. Making notes and using them as prompts will help you sound more natural and increase your chances of giving a winning performance.
Outlet and sells sandwiches, salads, light meals, even homemade hamburgers, which are very good, by the way, and are made by Melissa over there. There's no junk food here, though. Even the burgers are healthy. Finally, on D floor, we have the university refectory. That is, the university restaurant. You can get a 3-course meal here, or a starter, something small like a soup before the main meal. Or main course, where you have a choice of full meals, and side dishes like garlic bread or chips to go with the main meal, and of course a sweet or dessert to finish off your meal. People who don't eat meat can get a vegetarian meal, but for people who don't eat meat or dairy products like milk and cheese, vegans that is, there isn't really a great choice of vegan food.
Doctorate. Masters. Collocations connected with education. To develop practical skills in. To complete a degree. To learn from experience. To get hands-on experience of. To cover a wide range of subjects. To get a practical grounding in. To acquire theoretical knowledge. To take an exam. Jobs, positions in education. Administrator. Admissions officer. Graduate. Lecturer. Postgraduate. Professor. Pupil. Researcher. Tutor. Undergraduate. Collocations with get. A place. An offer. An education. A qualification. A degree. Collocations with do. A degree. A course. Research. Spleen. Muscle. Bones. Skull. Spine. Vertebra. Ribs. Joints. Hip. Ankle. Knee. Wrist. Diseases. Arthritis. Malaria. Infectious diseases. Cancer. Stroke. Heart disease. Alzheimer's disease. HIV/AIDS. Human immunodeficiency virus. Acquired immune deficiency syndrome. Cures. vitamins, holistic medicine, conventional medicine, pills, diet, exercise, injection, operation, radiotherapy, chemotherapy, herbs, people, surgeon, osteopath, psychiatrist, chiropodist, physiotherapist, cardiologist, paediatrician, consultant, optician, GP, general practitioner. Places: A&E, accidents and emergencies. Clinic, hospice, outpatients, surgery, theatre, ward, waiting room.
It includes a lot of research. I've got to interview people, so a lot of background work goes into that.
D.
At the moment, I'm working on a website aimed at students. I've got to come up with a new look and feel. It's fun because I can experiment with the design. It's a very creative job, and it's great when you see your final work go live.
E.
I edit the output for interactive television news. A lot of my time is spent cutting or changing the material. I really enjoy dealing with breaking news, and I like the fact that the job keeps changing as new ways of presenting news are developed in response to new technology.
F.
I review all the new films and DVDs each week on a radio program. You have to have patience and an open mind, although watching bad films at 9 a.m. screenings can make this very difficult indeed. But I love watching films, pure and simple.
1. When I need advice about my children's health, I go to the clinic in the high street. 2. Maria cut her hand very badly, so we had to take her to A&E at the big hospital in the city. 3. After the operation, they put him in a bed in the recovery ward. 4. There is no need for you to stay in hospital any longer. Just come to the outpatients department in 2 weeks' time and we'll give you a check-up. 5. A lot of people have colds at the moment, so the doctor's waiting room is very full. 6. I'm afraid he's really very ill, and they don't think he's going to get better, so they've found him a peaceful room in the hospice. 7. The doctor's surgery is open from 8:30 until 3 in the afternoon. 8. The operation will take place in the theatre on the second floor.
University tuition fees, and I have a maintenance grant on top of that. This is the money that I have to manage on a day-to-day basis. It pays for my accommodation and food. I also have a part-time job, and I use that income to buy other things, such as clothes and CDs.
I've actually been very disciplined and careful with my money so far, and regularly check my balance. I keep a note of my transactions so that I can keep on top of things. Obviously, if I go and get a pizza or something, I don't bother writing that down. But if I take out a lot of money, I do keep a note of it, so that I know what I spent it on. I know that one day I'll have to pay back the loan, but this shouldn't be too much of a problem once I've graduated and got myself a job.
Produce. Examine. Conduct. Carry out.
0.75, 0.75. 2.6. 28.3. 3.657. Percentages. 25%. 8.56%. Fractions. A half, 1/2. A quarter, 1/4. A third, 1/3. 5/6. 3/7. An eighth, 1/8. Mathematical symbols. Plus, add, and. Minus, take away. Times, multiplied by. Equals, is equal to. Divided by. 3 squared. 4 cubed. 5 to the power of 10. A is greater than B. A is less than B. Temperatures. 32 degrees Celsius, centigrade. 90 degrees Fahrenheit. -3 degrees Fahrenheit. Large numbers. 8,567,923. 9,416,892. 18,576,951. Metric and imperial weights and measures. Length. Inch. Centimetre. Foot, feet. Metre. Yard. Kilometre. Mile. Liquid measure. Fluid ounce. Cubic centimetre. Gallon. Litre. Weight. Ounce. Gram. Pound. Kilogram. Ton. Metric ton. Speed. Miles per hour. Kilometres per
48.
hour. Types of material. Natural. Wood. Rubber. Metal. Aluminium. Gold. Fabric. Wool. Silk. Cotton. Artificial, man-made. Plastic. Nylon. Glass. Steel. Leather. Qualities. Waterproof. Reflective. Absorbent. Flexible. Transparent. Processes with materials. Melt. Heat. Evaporate. Condense. Destroy. Mix. Combine. Merge. Split. Cool.
3 feet equal 1 yard. 7. 73 kilometres per hour. 8. 64%. 9. $520.99. 10. 6,522,313. Screening. Episode. Commercial. Channel. People. Broadcaster. Reporter. viewer, editor, producer, web designer, disc jockey, DJ, camera crew, critic. Verb collocations connected with media. To cover a story, to do an interview, to make the headlines, to launch an advertising campaign, to go on air.
Is vital for nuclear power production, but the byproducts can also be used to make nuclear weapons. World production of uranium in 2007 was 41,279 tons. Nationally, Canada produced the most uranium, 9,476 tons, followed by Australia with a total of 8,611 tons. Australia has the highest resources of all the nations, with an estimated 23% of all the uranium in the world. That's nearly a quarter. Canada, by comparison, has only 8% of the global uranium resources, about a third of Australia's. Surprisingly, the huge nations of China and India have only 1% of the total uranium resources. So, how much uranium is needed to make a nuclear warhead? Well, it takes 12,000 tons of unprocessed uranium to make 10 tons of yellow cake. This yellow cake then has to be further processed to produce weapons-grade uranium. 10 tons of yellow cake can produce only 20 to 25 kilograms of this weapons-grade uranium-235, which is enough for one nuclear warhead. It could also provide 600 kilograms of civil-grade uranium, which is equivalent to 30 million kilowatt-hours, enough to power Greater London for a day.
Attitudes. Rebellious, moody, insensitive, cruel, ungrateful, selfish, pessimistic, idle, miserable, passive, impulsive, stubborn,
Sister, father, mother, son, daughter, grandfather, grandmother, uncle, aunt, brother-in-law, cousin, niece, nephew. Describing relationships. Take after someone. Look like someone. Be close to someone. Get on well with someone. Have something in common with someone. Get together with someone. See someone. It has stopped completely. Teenagers are often moody because, although they are physically adult, their brains are not mature enough to think in a sensible way. This means that they become frustrated that they are not allowed to do all the things that adults do.
Talk about my father-in-law. I've known him for about 10 years now, and he's a person I really respect and get on well with. We became related when I married his daughter. My wife looks quite like him, and she takes after him in many ways. They are both funny and full of life. I like him most because, although he's a successful business person, he doesn't show off, and he always finds time to help you. Finally, we have lots of things in common. We both like golf, and we're both great cooks, so we often do these things together.
Referring to work. Career. Vocation. Occupation. Profession. Work positions. Trainee. Labourer. Consultant. Director. Executive. Types of work. Service, construction, tourism, heavy industry. Full, part-time. Casual. Flexi-time. Job share. Collocations connected with work. Work with. On. Through. For. As. finding work, application form, CV, curriculum vitae, job hunt, interview, salary, vacancy, hire, contract, recruitment agency. Stopping work, to be made redundant, to be unemployed, to be sacked, fired. Industrial action, strike action. Resign, quit. Maternity leave.
Baseball, basketball, volleyball, cricket, hockey, cycling, rowing. Other sports: table tennis, badminton, golf, gymnastics, swimming, diving, boxing, skiing, ice skating. Martial arts: judo, karate, kendo, kung fu. Places: football, rugby, baseball, cricket pitch. Tennis, badminton, volleyball, basketball court. Hockey field. Running, cycling, track. Swimming, diving, pool. Boxing ring. Golf course. Ski slope. Gym. Ice skating rink. People: football, manager, referee, coach, captain, linesman, lineswoman. Tennis: umpire, ball boy, girl. Cricket: team, batsman, bowler, fielder, captain.
Track 62. Types of holiday: camping, package, self-catering, cruise, backpacking, adventure, safari, city break, beach, luxury, ecotourism. Transport: land, car, caravan, campervan, bus or coach, train, rail, tram, trolleybus, funicular, bicycle, motorbike, taxi, lorry, truck, underground, tube. Transport: sea, ship, liner, cruise ship, hovercraft, ferry, hydrofoil, jet ski, yacht, speedboat, tanker, container ship. Transport: air, aeroplane, helicopter, balloon, rocket, microlight, zeppelin. Travel: places, motorway, airport, railway, coach, bus, tram, station, bus, tram, stop, service station, helicopter pad, docks, port. Track 63.
Hi, Jenny. What did you do in the holidays?
Well, Susie and I decided to go on an adventure holiday in the Lake District, but most of the adventures happened before we even got there. We were going to take the bus to Euston, then catch a train to Windermere. After that, we thought we could hire bicycles and then ride them to the hostel. It's about 15 miles, but we're both quite fit.
So what happened?
When the bus finally came, it was full, so we couldn't get on. There wasn't enough time to wait for the next one, so we called a taxi. We got in the taxi and asked the driver to go to Euston as quickly as possible. But the traffic was so bad, it took nearly half an hour, and we missed the train.
Oh no, you must have been really worried.
I was nearly ready to give up and go home. But Susie was determined to carry on. The taxi fare was nearly £50 as well. But we caught the next train, and when we got off at Windermere, it was so beautiful I was glad we had carried on. We got our bikes and rode them to the hostel, but we fell off a couple of times because our rucksacks were so heavy.
And what about the rest of the holiday?
It was great. We did a lot of walking and all kinds of water sports. Canoeing, sailing, whitewater rafting, and we went rock climbing and horse riding. Susie did a bungee jump, but I didn't want to do that. I went skydiving instead. It was great.